How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I can see everyone's living spaces. Do you see what I put in the chat box? I'm like, my background's iffy. Not sure.
Same. Still the curtain rod and picture that was never hung up from Paige in my living room. So I'm going to have to find a new venue with better lighting.
Exactly.
Mine is just
be in the office.
the corner. Sherry, are you supposed to be over in this duck with me, StreamYard?
I thought I was. I am.
Are you on StreamYard? Am I on StreamYard?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
you
in
guys are all on
there.
StreamYard.
It looks different. It looks different than it did yesterday.
Yeah. Just have more people in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're in.
Okay.
So as long as everybody likes this format, we can go forward.
Are people signing to Facebook Live right now?
Everybody's on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, just because I don't have the logins for whatever we're going to be doing. And also I don't want CSSI's social media to get all, gunked up with the test.
Okay.
Okay. So the first question is, who is actually driving the presentation? So I know I'm kind of the first presenter anyway, so I will be talking about CSSI and hello and why we're here and what we hope to achieve and why we want to have this open dialogue with the folks that have joined us.
I'm just going to chime in real quick before you start. I sign off as a presenter and be on the YouTube link and just make sure everything's looking fine from a participant angle. I will not be able to participate with you guys though. So any comments I have, I'm just going to put in the Teams chat for the meeting.
Yep, I've seen your little bubbles pop up.
Okay, cool. Bye-bye.
And I think this is the first time we're seeing the deck in its whole put togetherness, including some slides that didn't have some content on them previously. So we should also be commenting on that. So I'm asking that, I guess, a question.
That's not, no.
No, okay.
Because this is just the version that I have. I have not been a part of the
So this is just
recent
technical practice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
hold on. I mean, we have an hour and a half here. I personally would like to practice it, make sure we have our timing correct so that we hit our agenda deadlines and that we've seen the content prior to going live on Monday. So can we get the most up-to-date one up on the screen?
Sure. Who has it?
I don't know. William's been working on it, I believe. Is that right, Sherry?
I don't know, guys.
If people chat here, if people log into YouTube, yes, we do that.
That's cool.
If they are not logged into YouTube, they cannot. It has to be one of the three platforms we discussed: LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube.
Are you able to talk to Alexa? I don't know what platform she's on right now, Kyle, and ask her for the most updated deck.
She's giving instructions. So there's the chat on Teams is popping up if you have that functionality turned on. So at least you can see the dialogue that's happening with our production crew.
I don't have that.
I am currently downloading it.
Okay, there we go.
And Alexa, before we get started, so we have this right now, but then we also have the ITA sampling happening or pricing happening at 2:30. Where should I be? I'm so confused. Anyway, okay. All right, so Kyle's going to pull it up. So it's going to go me. I hand it over to Royster.
Yeah.
Royster hands it back, and Thomas introduced our panelists. So then, in theory, they're sitting backstage. We bring the panelists on. Thomas and I go through the panelist discussion. Then it's Jess and Charles, or just Jess? Is it just you, Jess? You're presenting your part?
Sounds like it.
Okay. And then when you're done, you bounce it back to me and I can do the wrap up.
I thought Charles was going to be on here helping you, Jess.
I thought so too. So it could go either way. I could either do it by myself or he and I could work through tag team. Which would you guys prefer? More voices, less voices?
I mean, I don't have an opinion on it. I guess, I mean, I think you do a great job, Jess, but I didn't want Charles to feel left out, but if he doesn't want to participate,
Yeah,
if he doesn't want to do it, then
no pride and ownership.
I know he's on a photo shoot right now, so I
Okay.
can't imagine he's
Gotcha.
jumping into this. So let me talk to him after this, and I'll get you a final answer end of
Hey
day
guys,
today.
sorry, this is too hard with me not being able to participate because I have all the answers to all of your questions. Charles is presenting. He knows he's presenting. I think he was just busy during this time.
Okay, so then I'll work with him to figure out what part I present, what part he presents.
Yes, exactly. And the one thing we need to figure out is as we go through the deck, the way that we have it now is right now before each section, we introduce the key players. So like Sherry will come up and then she'll do the intro, and then Rachel will come up and whatever, and then the panelists. Sherry and Thomas have a couple different speaking parts. And so I'm wondering, does it make sense to just introduce everyone at the beginning, and then we can avoid having those like picture profile slides coming up before each section? Because otherwise it's going to be like Sherry, Rachel, Sherry and Thomas,
Yes.
all the panelists.
that makes sense. Let's do it all at the beginning.
I think all at the beginning, I can work with William to do that, to just put together like a slide of the CSSI key players and a slide of the panelists. Sherry can help do that quick introduction in the beginning, and then we can remove those slides from the rest of the deck.
Okay,
And Sherry and I need to jump off at 2:30.
okay, that does answer that question. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to leave now, but if I need to jump back on, I will.
Okay, it looks like we're still having trouble locating the right version of the deck. So whoever.
Annie and I both sent it in the chat.
So then the question is, where's Kyle? Because I believe he's the driver, right? Wouldn't he have to share it?
And will he be the driver on Tuesday?
Yes, he will be driving on Tuesday. William, I see you're typing so that's the deck that you sent yesterday. Did you send an updated link today after my comments were made?
Because we got to get ready for these meetings.
So this is the one that you just sent through. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is the one I just downloaded from the chat.
All right, can you
Is
just
there a different one?
can you scroll like a couple slides in? Let me just see the first few slides.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. Yes, okay, this is fine. We can remove the ice cream later. This deck's fine to go through.
Okay, because I thought we were scrubbing all of this We Are CSSI stuff too.
Okay, so Tim just put in the intro like less than an hour ago. No one has reviewed it yet. So that's something that we still need to talk about.
Okay, and I don't know that we need to call this part one, but yeah, those are
I'm just going
details
to
that we
stay on as
haven't.
the presenter because it's too hard for me to be a participant. So if someone else wants to jump off and be a participant, like is Shannon on as a participant?
Yeah, Shannon's here.
Okay. Maybe she can just be the participant, make sure everything looks okay.
Okay, so I will say hello. I will introduce how we're going to be spending our time together. I will quickly go through who we are, what we do, why we're the experts. So then I need to, after those, so if you can flip through those introductory slides, then I'm going to land on a slide of names and faces. And so as I'm introducing the team, am I just introducing the team with names and faces and they'll see their real faces when it's their turn? We're not asking people to come in and introduce themselves.
I don't think
Okay.
we should.
I will do my best to make you guys look amazing. Okay.
So originally we had talked about with the upfront, do we not want any who CSSI, who we are slides? So right now we have this one, and I think we have the next one.
I think it should just be more of the Marlin Network. I mean, we could still talk about all of these things, or at least keep them bundled.
So this is the new slide of how we talk about ourselves and how we talk about like the different divisions within CSSI and how we work with you. So if we just want to include this, that's fine. But we're missing any of that, like, you know, we're foodie, that kind of language. And if we're cool with that, then we can remove it.
I think we could still say we're foodies and stuff. I just wouldn't make it seem like this is only coming from CSSI.
Okay.
Like we could say that about anybody in the Marlin Network, right?
Okay. Maybe Sherry, maybe let's talk about that offline. I'm confused because this is only coming from CSSI. So
No, we have invited the whole network of clients.
oh, right. I'm just saying like this. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I'm just,
Yes, we're putting all the blood, sweat, and tears on it, but everybody gets the benefits. But yes, I will talk to you outline. Okay. And then after this slide is going to come the people. I will introduce them, and then I will hand it over to Royster.
yeah, I think first we'd talk about food for thought. Like, what is this series and what are they going to expect moving forward from us? So we'll have this slide, and then Kyle, I think we'll have the next slide, which talks about what can you expect from us moving
Okay.
forward. Then we'll have the, we'll introduce the key players.
Okay.
And then we'll jump into we're making the case for innovation. So this we know we need to update because Qdoba is now officially off the table. That's fine. We'll just have Papa John's and David Buster's. And then
Okay.
Sherry, you'll go through the agenda. And then this will, we'll remove this because Rachel's already been introduced.
So I don't introduce myself. I don't say this is what I do, blah blah blah. Skip that.
You can say a quick hi and just say, I'm Rachel. I'm going to be taking you through this section, but I don't think we need the full slide with your picture and such because we'll have already showed your picture.
And you don't need my bio, my history, my
I
resume.
don't think so.
Okay, good to know.
Levitt's birthday.
What?
Levitt's birthday, right? Your firstborn.
Who is at home with me for the next 2 weeks, guys?
Blood type. Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, I will get started. Blah, 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 what is innovation? I'm actually gonna read that. Okay, what is innovation? Do you guys want me to do like the whole shebang? Because I do have a rough talk track that I could run through. Just in practice though, I'm like at 25 minutes, so I need to cut back on some of this content because once we added the, because when I wrote it initially, it was at 15 minutes and I've since added like 5 or 6 slides. So, okay. So what is innovation? Innovation is a process through which value is created and delivered to a community of users in the form of a new solution. But not only is it the process, it can also be used to describe a new product or service. So which is the outcome of the innovation process that delivers value to the community. In either case, the key elements of the definition are newness and value delivery. So moving on to this slide that we see right now, history suggests that companies that invest in innovation through a crisis outperform peers during recovery. So thinking back to 2008, when we were in the midst of the Great Recession, through crisis innovators, which are represented in the blue line on top, those outperformed those who didn't innovate during this time by 10%. So moreover, they continue to outperform the market by 30% in post-crisis years. And if you're wondering who these companies are, they're companies like Facebook and Samsung and Disney and Amazon and Whole Foods, Target are just a few of them who outperform their peers because they continue to innovate through a downturn in the economy. Yep. And in times of extreme economic shifts, innovation thrives. We can move on to the next slide because I'm just going to top line on that. So again, looking back to 2008, economic uncertainty is often the breeding ground for innovation. These companies saw gaps in the market and developed tools that could navigate new trends. So what solutions do these companies offer? Just for an example, Pinterest. They provide a platform for self-expression and desires. Uber provided transportation via an app, making it easier to get a taxi, and it's also lower cost. Groupon drives awareness to potential customers by offering discounts. Venmo allows easy peer-to-peer monetary transactions. So just a sampling of these innovative companies that saw that opportunity and seized it, and they were ready to grab the market when it came back. This all came out of 2008 during the Great Recession. So in the face of a global pandemic, CPG food and beverage manufacturers and retailers had to pivot to meet increased consumer demand and think of new ways of working. So now we're going to shift over to what is happening now and talk about the innovation within the food and beverage industry. So this is a slide that I added last time, guys, on CPG that we wanted to include. So for our CPG companies, that meant moving home. The home really became, over the last year, the hub of all life. We worked from home, we raised our kids from home because schools were closed, and we even worked our jobs at home. So for those in the research and development field for CPG companies, that meant doing their development at home in their kitchens, often bringing their families in to give feedback, meaning a lot of the development we were going to see from CPG will revolve around the home. So some trends that had staying power when it comes to CPG that evolved from the pandemic include at-home cooking. We know that's going to continue. We know a lot of people rediscovered or maybe just discovered at-home cooking and polished off some of those skills. Healthy snacking is another one. This was a trend pre-COVID, and it certainly has staying power. And then moving over into convenience foods, foods that are easily available for snacking, definitely something we saw pre-pandemic that will continue on. Functional and immunity boosting. Beyond just healthy snacking, we'll see consumers looking to boost their immunity with foods, beverages, and supplements to keep them healthy. Plant-based, definitely something that we won't see slow down. It really was something that definitely gained traction and a lot of momentum pre-pandemic in food service, and now CPG is responding with those who want to bring those alternatives to their homes. And then lastly, we're going to see manufacturers bring the fun and adventure of restaurant foods to their products. We'll see bold global flavors and cooking techniques, as well as new cooking techniques like air frying and sous vide. And the cocktail revolution. People really got into drinking at home, and Pepsi really responded with a line of mixers that are on trend because they're smaller size and feature real juice and no artificial sweeteners. And then you can move on to the next one. And restaurants pivoted to capture the share of the dining dollar as well. Delivery and carryout grew tremendously over last year. I'm going to go into more detail over the next few slides so we can really see that to come to life. But it can't be understated the impact of drive-through and delivery. 63% of consumers, restaurant consumers spending in 2020 was on takeout and delivery. We'll get into that later, as I mentioned before, but it's important to understand the shift in consumers moving away to off-premise dining. Some others we just want to touch on because they did have a big impact on operators and engagement with consumers. Value emphasis. Money was tight for a lot of consumers, so we saw an emergence of value meals, bundles, discounts, promotions of sizes, and so on. The return to comfort foods. As consumers hunkered down, they gravitated toward heartier comfort foods. Also, we saw a trend in 2008. We saw this trend in 2008 and again during the pandemic. Some of the most successful operators during the pandemic have been pizza and wing chains. So you can really see that consumers were leaning on comfort foods during this time. Also, those deliver very well. Transparent cleaning procedures, especially in the beginning stages of the pandemic, operators had to really broadcast what they were doing to keep their customers safe. Although this has really died down recent months, I think you'll see some of this live on, like tamper-proof packaging, for example. Which takes me right on to my next bullet, which is secure packaging. A drive-through, delivery, and takeaway will live on for quite some time, and we'll definitely see new innovations around packaging and how we can give our customers peace of mind. Smaller menus and fewer SKUs. Another trend that will carry on for some time is slim down menus and optimization of SKUs. We'll talk about that when we talk about the innovations around LTOs later on in this presentation. Many operators are seeing labor shortages and wanting to streamline operations, so limiting SKUs and optimizing them for several products is really key. And of course, pause of buffets and shareables. This is pretty obvious, but I did see my local grocery store respond with their salad bars, and they're now open. And last, heightened focus on technology, which was incredibly important for driving sales over last year. And again, I'll get into that in the following slides. So drive-through gears up. Obviously, operators that won over last year were those that could offer off-premise capabilities, whether through drive-through, delivery, takeout. Consequently, we've seen the growth of these capabilities with multiple lanes for drive-through, like Shake Shack, for example, and dedicated lanes or parking spaces for online, mobile, or app pickup orders specifically. Also, like Shake Shack, Chipotle, Del Taco, McDonald's are all testing these capabilities and making more room for third-party pickup and delivery services by offering dedicated lanes and parking spots to quickly get in and out. And of course, this ability to quickly pivot has really paid off for some operators. Chipotle, McAllister's Deli, and Wingstop, as well as some operators that you'll hear from later on today, are seeing pre-pandemic sales numbers. Why? Chipotle, for example, has been rapidly adding drive-through options, as well as upping their digital platform capabilities. McAllister's Deli also expanded their drive-through and carry-out options, and also are piloting tableside ordering via an app. Wingstop saw an uptick in part because, as I mentioned before, consumers hunkered down and went for the comfort foods, but they also have a strong digital presence for some time, which only increased in the pandemic. So innovation helped operators continue to drive business. So now we are going to show you how restaurant operators pivoted during the pandemic to drive sales. So large portion bundles are something that we really saw take off during the pandemic, particularly at full service restaurants. They offered consumers the opportunity to have a restaurant meal for their entire family that they could eat at home, which oftentimes was the only option in many states who closed their indoor restaurant dining. The portions also helped consumers limit their out-of-home shopping excursions and potential risk that goes along with going out of their home. Moreover, larger portion sizes did really well with smaller families. Couples and singles really flocked to these options because they could save them for later. And in fact, KFC even marketed that opportunity with their Chicken Today, Tenders for Tomorrow promotion. And this is a trend that we're certainly going to see continue. In fact, 73% of consumers say that once the restaurants reopen, they would be likely to purchase family meals. So this trend is definitely has staying power. And meal kits are another one that we saw basically resurrected during the pandemic. Traditional subscription-based meal kits were on the downturn, but that certainly changed and they had their moment during the pandemic and restaurants followed suit. They provided simplicity in the home kitchen, minimized out-of-home excursions, similar to the family size portions. And they offered a cool DIY opportunity to have restaurant quality meals and still be a home chef. Independents who really suffered during the closures caused by the pandemic found a cool way to engage their customers that offered a different way of experimenting and having that brand at home. I think one of the coolest meal kits that I saw was from Alinea in Chicago, whose meals typically run around $300 a person. So very expensive, very unaffordable for many people, but they began offering meal kits for around $35 a person, making it more affordable and certainly more approachable for many consumers, and definitely expanded their reach. And again, we're seeing consumers still have a strong interest in meal kits, with 68% saying they would likely order them after restaurants are fully returned to being open. And cocktails to go will stick around. So according to the National Restaurant Association, 1/3 of customers over 21 and over ordered beer, wine, and cocktails with a delivery or takeout order over the last year. Operators who offer these can really tap into this experiential trend that we saw among millennials and the Gen Z consumer base pre-pandemic. It's a great way to connect with them during the pandemic and moving forward. It was really driving a lot of those sales. It also allows them to have that mixology experience while engaging with the brand at home. And depending on state and local laws, this is probably also a trend with legs that will stick around possibly permanently as a companion to off-premise dining occasions. So next we're going to shift and talk about the rise of ghost kitchens. Ghost kitchens have been called many things: virtual kitchens, delivery-only restaurants, delivery kitchen. But regardless of what you call it, the ghost kitchen produces food to be delivered elsewhere, usually via app. Because there is no dining room, a ghost kitchen requires less staff and less space than a restaurant. And it can also quickly pivot into new menu offerings, new brands, and different delivery zones. So just looking really quickly at some examples of ghost kitchens, DoorDash, for example, DoorDash Kitchens offers a shared commissary kitchen that serves as a turnkey solution for creating virtual concepts alongside other brands, which allows consumers the ability to place one order with multiple brands at once. So instead of just going to McDonald's and ordering something, you can order, for example, McDonald's, Chili's, Chipotle, all through one experience. And then we also have food truck-esque hubs from Reef Kitchen, which can host up to 6 restaurants at once, with restaurant brands at once in mostly urban parking lots to engage a greater delivery reach. Reef partners with independents and chains from local independent restaurants all the way up through Wendy's. And Kitchen United has found success working with both major chains like Chick-fil-A and Portillo's and smaller operators to help service delivery capabilities. Looking at the chart on the right, the bottom data point shows that 55% of consumers really don't care that their food is coming from a ghost kitchen if they knew it was coming from one. And that's actually the question is, are they even knowing that it's coming from a ghost kitchen? Because chances are they don't know it's coming from a ghost kitchen because they just go to the operator's website, order something, and then oftentimes that ghost kitchen is facilitating that delivery order. So briefly looking at virtual brands, these are brands that only exist in a virtual world and not brick and mortar. And a lot of major players are getting into virtual brands. We've got Bloomin' Brands, Tender Shack, Brinkers, Just Wings, Boston Markets, Rotisserie Roast, and tons of others. So take, for instance, Pascali's, which is a virtual pizza chain operated by Chuck E. Cheese. So some people might not think of Chuck E. Cheese as a pizza destination, but in the virtual world, that has less impact when 57% of consumers would give a virtual restaurant a try, even if it were operated by an existing restaurant that they didn't prefer. And we can go on to the next slide. Okay, and lastly, yeah, that's it. And lastly, we're seeing how ghost kitchens are now evolving. The brand Ghost Kitchens, which is the brand name, which provides virtual kitchens to several major restaurants throughout the country, has launched a partnership with Walmart. And it plans to open around 90 ghost kitchens. It's still in test in about a dozen locations right now. And incorporates well-known brands like Quiznos. I gave them a shout out because they're here, but whatever, they're not going to be here. Like Quiznos, Saladworks, Cheesecake Factory, and so on into one virtual kitchen. So customers who are in Walmart can get their orders via touch screen. So they go up to a touch screen, decide who they want to order from, pick out their menu offerings, and then they receive a text when their food is ready. So then they go back to that station and pick up their food. So it allows for minimum staffing requirements. In addition, these units also serve as a delivery hub for that area. And the last thing I'm going to touch on is the role of LTOs when it comes to innovation right now. So the frequency of which LTOs came on the market over last year definitely took a dive, as you can see on the right. In March, April, and May of last year, for sure, there was definitely a dive when many operations were closed for indoor dining. So very few LTOs come on the market as opposed to the previous years. Typically, the summer months see the highest LTOs, but over the last year, we saw those numbers drop as brands trim back operations and focus on their core menu. So let's take a look at some LTOs that were launched in last year and the role they played in the operator's successes. So thoughtful, innovative LTO. So Sonic on the left-hand side tested their cold foam in limited markets last fall. Cold foam is a very hot trend. We saw it evolve from the Asian markets to the US and at locations like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. While this is only a test, the innovation didn't stop during the pandemic for Sonic. They kept innovating with on-trend products, and now they're already a step ahead of operators coming out of the pandemic because they continued to innovate. IHOP innovated around products that worked well for delivery and carry-out opportunities, as well as cross-utilized SKUs. So looking from their menu options, they have a bowl that can also be a wrapper burrito. So not only are they targeting a growing off-premise business for delivery and carry-out, but also streamlining their operation by cross-utilizing those SKUs. And then Arby's also won by cross-utilizing products. They introduced mac and cheese, which is really on trend for the brand anyway, and it ties very well with their products as a hearty comfort food, but it can also be used as a topping on their sandwich, which allowed more usage and more streamlined offering. And the last thing I want to touch on is our partner successes over the last year, which I'm not going to talk about because I didn't write anything about this. And Thomas, I want to meet with you to discuss how we want to address the slide. And that's it, guys. That's my whole spiel. Do we want to put in a slide here that's like next up?
Real quickly, did you guys remove yourselves from the streams? Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Yeah.
So if you remove from the stream, like that's the only way to get your icon to go away. And you can still hear, but you can't add yourself back in, Kyle, unless you do it.
Interesting. Okay, that sucks. Okay, well, a couple of things we can do here is I can set it up so that, well, that doesn't really work because you won't be able to read most of it. When we're presenting, I can have you guys all still be on screen and still discussing. Can you talk right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody can hear Alexa and me.
Yes.
And so we won't have to worry about it going on and off. Also, if you look over on the far right, there's private chat as well as comments. Do you guys see comments?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see live as people are talking on YouTube, and it will show Facebook and LinkedIn whenever we do that. Can you click show on one of the comments?
No.
No.
You can't. Okay, just me. Okay.
We don't need to show any comments though for the whole thing.
Correct. Okay. Well, so what I can do is I can just leave it as once we go into the actual presentation, I can just leave it full screen. We won't have to worry about it.
You want to see the people the whole time though.
Okay, we do.
Yeah.
So when you guys left, it was just you guys canceled out. It wasn't you didn't get kicked off.
No. But
Okay.
you know what? Honestly, can you go back to the mode where it's like all of us on the left and the front? There we go. Rachel didn't ever get any bigger. She just stayed the same size. So I think we all just stay on.
Cool.
And smile and nod and be personable.
I agree. I think
And
that
act like you're
works
paying
best.
attention to me.
Yeah. And then once we're done with the panelists, we can always remove them from the stream. Like Kyle can forcibly remove them. So they can still listen if they want, but they don't have to participate.
Okay.
And then
So
we don't
for-
have to teach them how to do that.
Got it. So after they get done speaking, they won't be returning later.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And
cool.
then for the upfront, we can also have them be in like the backstage so they can be listening.
Mhm.
And Kyle will just add them in and then remove them after their section. So they don't have to do anything.
Got it. And that helps me too because I'm not following the YouTube comments. I will just be looking at the private chat. So I'll be able to watch you guys. Like you can say, oh, I accidentally removed myself from the chat or the video. Please add me back, et cetera, et cetera.
And in the private chat, it's only us.
Yeah, nobody else can see that. Okay. Oh, one more thing. Comments section. Can you well, I guess you'd have to be logged into YouTube in order to comment there. What happens if you post a comment in the comments, not the private chat?
There is nowhere to post a comment.
I can't post in the comments. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Cool. So I
think we can keep running through.
should I remove Rachel now or just on the actual run through? She should probably stay just in case she wants to comment.
Let's stay now, but yeah, we'll I'll outline who should be in what section, and then Kyle, you'll just be the master by curtain.
Cool. All right.
So this will be Thomas introducing our guests with name and title. And then Thomas and I are going to practice, I don't know, today, tomorrow afternoon on going through. We have quite a few questions to get through. So we're going to practice kind of going back and forth. And I think Thomas will ask the questions to generate that discussion. And then I will chime in with asking them to go deeper, reframe it, or a natural lead into another question that's coming up or whatever. So he will lead, and then I'll help frame and engage the discussion so we can get through them. And so if we know Rachel needs at least 25 minutes.
Was that how long that was, guys?
I don't think we were timing it.
Okay.
That's why we need a live one.
We're going to
Okay.
do a live one for Friday afternoon.
If we've done like the intro for 10 minutes, I guess tell me how many minutes you want me to have this panel discussion. Are we talking 30, 40?
I'll send out what the original proposed timing was. I have to go back and look at the content outline, but I think it was a 5-minute intro, and then Rachel has 25 minutes. The panel is 35 minutes.
Okay.
And Jess and Charles have 25 minutes, and then I think there's 15
Okay.
minutes remaining.
Because 12 questions
Oh,
might
fine.
be ambitious. Okay.
If I have 25 minutes, that's good. I ran through that pretty quickly, and it didn't feel like 25 minutes. I can
I
do
don't
it
think it
faster,
was.
so-
There's a clock in the top left there that says live, and then it's
Oh yeah.
ticking. And I don't think you started at 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, I can make things go super fast or I can make it go slow. You guys just tell me how long I have and I will make it work.
Okay.
I'll send
I also
everyone
didn't
their
do my last
time
time.
frames.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Okay. And so then once we wrap up and say thank you, this was such a great, exciting,
This slide is not
Discussion.
needed. We can remove that.
and then we hand it over to you, Jess.
So question, if you go back one slide, Kyle, do we want this slide to be up the whole time while the panelists are talking? So the panelists will be in that left-hand corner, or should we have the panelists be the full view?
Yeah, put them on
Full
screen.
view.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So
I
then
like that.
Kyle can make that adjustment.
Yeah, so Kyle, can you practice and like, let's say put just Rachel and I on full view, but does that leave the other three tiny in the corner? Oh, this is full view. Okay.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
So then it would be like Thomas is one and then our two panelists are the other. Is that how we would want to? Kyle, can you put Alexa and Rachel, or not Rachel, Alexa and Sherry back in? Yep.
So that's 4.
Great. So we'll have 4 people. So this is what it's going to look like. I think that's great.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Kyle can add everyone back in except the panelists. He can remove them. He's not going to participate after this and the presentation. So that's great.
Yeah. So there you go. Cool.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's a cool platform.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like that I have to show my background because you guys could see.
I know,
'Cause if
I'm
don't
really
have this
seriously
thing there, you
considering.
can't see me 'cause I have a glare.
There may be, I'm going to look into that. There may be a way to do that.
It'd be
Um,
awesome if we had like a branded background.
I
Like we all
know.
had.
I think
Food
there's
for thought, yellow, whatever.
I think there's a way to do that. I'm going to look into it. Got it in my notes here. Okay. Do you want to continue on with the presentation?
Yeah, we can take a look. So I know the next section is the Future of Innovation Roundtable. Charles and I'm going to work on building out a talk track for the two of us on how we can both talk. I am putting notes in the not the Excel, the SharePoint of the presentation to try and make those slides a little bit more exciting. So if you go to them, Kyle, if you want to move forward, one more. So this is just kind of boring in the sense. I almost wonder would it make more sense to just put pictures and like we talk over it, or do you think people get more from it by actually reading bullet points? Because my thought is we would change the where the industry is going to the title would be menus will remain simple, and then maybe it's a picture of like a really huge menu and then a picture of a streamlined menu, and that's where like maybe I talk about one thing and then Charles talks about the tactical response.
I like that, Jess. It feels more organic, where it's like, okay, we've been talking about innovation this whole time. This is what we're seeing. Charles and I are going to have a discussion about some solutions or opportunities that you can implement as you're listening here or something like that. Yep.
I agree with that. Can we use this, what Jess has on the screen right now, in part of the digital takeaway maybe?
Yeah.
But yeah, Danny did incorporate a bunch of these points in the digital takeaway. So we'll send you guys that copy later today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
my
I don't want
only
to repeat and regurgitate.
My only request is, as we're presenting this stuff, is to continue to use the word innovation throughout to kind of reinforce, because we are defining innovation, right? Or things of changing. So it's not just product innovation. It's not just menu strategy. It's about doing things differently, changing the way you do business, thinking about your customers. And so really helping the audience understand our framework and embrace that framework, that innovation means change. And we're talking about all the changes we're seeing, and we're helping forecast solutions.
Okay. So the next one So again, same idea. Maybe it's a picture of a delivery, takeout, something. The title then is the carry out and delivery cemented itself. And then again, we'll talk over about, you know, the consumer expectations when it comes to delivery and takeout, and then the tactical response towards it. So as manufacturers, you know, providing that solution for operators for products that do well via takeout that can deliver on the experience. You know, thinking about a manufacturer in the CPG world, knowing that consumers are expecting that higher quality and that point of differentiation, innovating around your CPG products to deliver that sense at home so that the consumer then becomes that restaurant chef, that restaurant quality eating experience maybe now comes out of the freezer or comes out of you know, a new packaged goods, something like that. And then I'm not sure what picture we would want to put here, but then again, moving the title up from to operator, maybe it's operations evolution, operator evolution. But then this kind of, again, asks that ghost question, that ghost kitchen, that retail space. You know, we are seeing all of these shifts and these changes having, sorry, no, I have my camera off on purpose. The dogs have been assholes all day today. Lucy's wearing a diaper and I'm sure you guys don't want to see that. But then again, it's one picture, right? So is it a picture of a ghost kitchen, or do we have like a really cool stock item picture that we could be using? And then we'll talk through ghost kitchens, the channel blurring for food service retail, and then again, how we can provide innovation around those spaces and that tactical response.
Yeah, I mean, I think a ghost kitchen, or like, I almost wonder if it could be a picture of like a kitchen can be anywhere, right? It's ghost kitchens, it's food trucks, it's home kitchens, right? The whole idea is that the kitchen location actually can be expanded anywhere. It's what you bring out of that kitchen and how you attract that consumer. I like that. I like that. Okay, so then here is, did we give, so I know we're sending out the last email tomorrow with the survey questions. We need to give them a deadline for their questions to be included, because by Monday, when we're practicing, if we don't get like a ton of good questions or whatever, we're going to have to make them up so this part is engaging, or make sure we have enough time in this section to go through all of them or none of them.
We can always do this too live. If you see a question, you could read it out loud, and then I could come in and then have it appear on screen.
So the plan can be, we're going to first start with the questions and some of the thought starters you supplied to us via the survey. And then we're going to continue this Q&A by using the chat on everybody's YouTube and answer some questions live too. And so then it's not Sherry and Thomas. I think here's where it's our whole team of experts, are all of our panelists. So Royster comes back, Jess comes back, Charles comes back, so that we can each be prepared to answer a question as our expertise allows.
And I'll be honest, I kind of liked how it popped up with, you know, Danny's comment.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have it set up to where like our moles in the background, whether it's like Danny or William or Shannon, like they have their 5 questions and it's like, all right, Shannon types her question, Kyle highlights it. Yep. And it could be like, this is suggest, yada, 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 right? Like, so that it pops up on the screen so that everybody watching can see it, so that they kind of see that they could put in comments and then maybe it goes from there? Or is that just too many moving parts?
I think we can do it either way. I feel like if as long as the team has the list of questions that like are our mole questions, in the event that no one's asking questions, I feel like anyone could say, and we're, you know, we got another question that's, you know, so wondering about this. Like, no one's going to know that wasn't a survey question.
Maybe
if that makes it less complicated.
Maybe before we jump into the Q&A, maybe we have a slide that kind of recaps everything we just went through as a prompt for people to respond to. So, you know, we really defined innovation. We really looked at innovation through the lens of menus and LTOs and delivery mechanisms and consumer drivers and da 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 da. What are your questions about innovation? Everywhere from process to business innovation to consumer dynamics. You know, we'll start with what you provided us already, but we also have time to have an open dialogue about questions of any of those subjects.
And I have a question about the questions to confirm. So if somebody types a question into YouTube, is it seen by the entire audience or just us here in this Duck StreamYard?
It's seen by the entire audience.
Within YouTube. So if people are chatting in YouTube, they'll see the YouTube comments, but they won't go cross-platform like going to Facebook.
So, and yesterday when I asked about this, again, I used the example of if somebody says, hey, Tom, bad example, it's true. Did you ever hear Paul Schachter make racist comments? I don't want that to be seen by everybody in YouTube. And when he doesn't answer, which he's not going to, feel like he's ignoring a question. So is there a way that if questions come through, it just comes to identify this group, like literally this group, not the panelists, and we're fielding those questions as we feel appropriate?
There's no way to do that, no. We could turn chats off, but we can also just, only the comments that we actually display will show up, and it will look like you're not seeing those comments. You won't have to address everything coming up on YouTube or whatever, which.
And I've not seen anybody abuse it. Actually, our last couple
you
of
have
them.
to answer all of them.
No, I've not seen it. I've had it maybe once when I was doing a panel before.
I mean, and we know most of these people, so we can shame them later. They will not embarrass
we will.
themselves.
We will. So the question is going to pop up like the one we see from Danny right here. So when Sherry and I are moderating, it'll pop up a question just like that on the screen.
I have to allow it to pop up.
Oh, so you're the one who's actually allowed
to. Not. Kyle can make it pop up, or nothing could appear. And Thomas, you could just say, you know, we got a survey question that asked, you know, what's the best innovation process for this type of situation? And we're going to answer that. And then you go in to answer it. So you would just have to like repeat the question.
All right, here, let me phrase it differently. So let's say Sherry and I connect on this. Let's say I'm leading the discussion and Sherry is able to be the one that's reviewing the questions, and she pipes in and says, hey, we just got a great question from the audience. How do we, and I don't want to pop up here. So again, Tom and then see it, they're getting distracted by these little pop-ups. Is there a way that Sherry can see the questions that's being asked on Facebook Live and she can interject during the panel discussion when I'm asking the already preset questions with the audience questions?
Yeah,
I can see the Teams chat pop up. Could somebody send it to me in Teams?
Well, if you click that comments button on the far right,
yep,
you'll be able to see all the comments coming in from all the different platforms.
Okay,
and
that's
if you wanted to
go.
read one, and I can have it pop up. As well as I just figured out that if I'm logged in, I will be the host of all of the chats. So if somebody is saying something about, you know, we don't want to have seen, I can delete comments as they come in on those platforms.
Yeah, it's the chance of it happening is rare, but I just want to be prepared. So that answered my question. So Sherry and I will have comments open, and then that's where we'll field questions from the audience. Perfect.
That sounds good. And then, sorry, Kyle, go back to the presentation because there's one other slide I want to talk about. Go to the next slide. I don't think we need this slide. Go to the next one. Oh, wasn't there a slide in the back that had like the pie chart? Did that get removed?
Which pie chart, Alexa?
The deck I reviewed earlier today had a pie chart that had all of our different, it said like, here's how we innovate with you. And it had all the different sections.
Is that all the way up in the front? I thought that was up in the front.
No, it was different.
Epilepsy warning.
Yeah, it's on the deck I have. Oh, yeah, it was deleted. I don't know why it was deleted. Okay. It was like that wrap-up slide. Tim updated some slides and he removed that one because it was redundant. Okay. So,
yeah, but it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to remind people though, right? If we've learned anything at CSSI, people don't remember everything we do.
Yeah, it was almost like I thought we were going to maybe have that up during the chat as almost like a call to action, like, start your
Yeah.
innovation with us and, reach out to Sherry and just have that up for
Yeah.
during the Q&A so that everyone is like hit over the head with what their next step is.
Right. And let's
feel like we
let's
should
put
add
that back in, and then let's like make sure that we're matching all the language. I mean, I think digital takeaway is kind of our internal language, right? We're sharing like an innovation get started worksheet and just tighten that up.
Mhm.
I feel like I just need to spend some time with this. Did I get this link today of the deck?
I'm not sure who it sent
Okay.
to. I have to go back and check. But I think there were some changes today. So
Yeah.
William can update that and he'll get the link out this afternoon. Everyone can review and make any additional comments. Because I know like Jess is making comments right now to her section.
Mm-hmm.
So and Shannon's going to be sending through an hour and a half full presentation run through Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
We already have that meeting anyway, so you can't get that mad at us.
I will
yeah,
let you
I
know.
think-
I will try my best to join that. I have a personal commitment during that time.
Okay. I think overall this technology is working really well. I'm going to send a recap of how it's going to work. But I think the way that we figured it out, the panelists will not really have to do anything, just chat, and we'll remove them when we need to. And I haven't heard from Danny or Shannon that anything was really off.
So right now we have about 120 RSVPs. So quite a big audience. Just keep in mind, it's people we know, people we want to get to know. It's a combination of manufacturers and operators.
What operators are coming?
There's quite a few. I was surprised by the list.
Because we let our Coke folks know that they could invite their customers. Oh, that's
They
okay.
couldn't? You told them they couldn't or could?
Could.
Yes.
Okay,
Could.
good.
Couldn't with an
Could. They could. They're
Yes.
loud. Yes, it was good. They could. Yeah. So we told them to please invite their customer teams.
Yeah. So I can
Share the
quickly.
attendee list, or I'm just interested to know.
Yeah, I've asked Shannon if you could do the update because I know you were manually putting some people on here too, and I think from the attendees, let's not put our panelists as attendees, but for operators, really quickly, Domino's, NC State, Macy's, Yum, Capital One, Wawa, Dallas Independent School District.
Yes.
Dividend Restaurant Group, operators. There were more. University of Notre Dame, Duncan, Olympic Committee, Jordan Winery, Leo's Mexican Restaurant, McAllister's, University of Michigan. There's somebody from Javi on here. Paradise Tomato, Fazoli's, Red Robin, Inspire Brands.
That's pretty good.
That is.
Duncan, Churches. Yeah, no pressure, people. Rowdy Dow Barbecue, which still makes me giggle.
Nice. So Kyle, if before Friday, if you could please have Shannon update the meeting invite with the YouTube panelist or presenter link, and I would send that out, maybe more than a couple minutes before the meeting if we can swing it. No one's going to join the meeting early, and then all three links: Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, because I want there to be at least 3 participants each on one of the platforms, making sure that everything's working.
Yep. A couple things. So when we send out the invite, we can send out which platform you want to, which one you want to join with as an attendee. Also, up front, maybe we say a message like, if you are watching this on YouTube, keep in mind, you can also comment on Facebook or LinkedIn, and we can put the links, or you can say like, oh, the links are also in your email. Just say something like that as kind of some housekeeping up front.
It sounds very confusing to me. If I got that email, I'd be like, what do I click? I go into what platform? And I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So
I feel
do
like
we have to send all 3? Can we just send one?
Join via one of these links. Boom, boom, boom. Because
Why have that? Why
YouTube,
need them all 3? Can't we just send one?
Because
Join.
some people don't have
Instead of
YouTube
having
or a Facebook account.
they can't comment. They would have to create an account during our presentation. But if they have an account already, they'll already be logged in and they won't have to do anything.
So I might have missed that. So all the comments that we see on the right, except for the private ones, are coming from YouTube. You're not allowed to chat within this platform or ask a question within this platform. Gotcha.
Yes, but it's because Kyle only sent out the YouTube link. If he had sent out the Facebook link and I was on Facebook, then I could comment. It would still come through. It would just be, instead of the YouTube icon, it would be the Facebook icon.
Gotcha.
So I guess we can select one platform, but then we have to caveat with, you need an account to join, which I think.
Can I throw this out there? I know I had to jump in and out for the last hour for some other Advantage calls. Do we feel really strongly about this platform versus going Microsoft Teams and doing the everybody please mute, turn your camera off, and controlling it that way? Nobody really jumped up to say this platform is amazing just now. That's kind of worries me.
I think it's got some cool
technology
things.
works really well. I just, if we're worried about the participants having to choose a link.
I mean, that's just, that's me. I get it. If you're saying it's as simple as choose one, then it's fine. But if it's like, hey, you can go to YouTube and comment on LinkedIn and maybe tag on Facebook, I'm gonna be like, I don't even know what's going on now. Like,
That complicates it. It's just join one link and you're good to go.
Yeah, click on one of the links below to join. So if you click YouTube and you don't have YouTube, you just go back, you click LinkedIn. And most people, and I probably have LinkedIn at the top.
Pick what they would have an account on. Like if I had the choice between, I don't think I have a YouTube account, so I would definitely not click YouTube. I'd click Facebook or LinkedIn.
I don't have a YouTube account. At least I don't think I do. And then on this side, Kyle, you're able to control like who pops up and goes away. So for
Correct.
our panelists, I don't have to. We've already had our pre-prep call. All we're asking is click on the link, and you will control when they show up, when they go away, when their voice can be heard. You have all that control, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'll be watching the chat within the speakers, as well as you can just talk directly to me. I'm going to not be on screen at all, so I won't be able to talk to you during the actual presentation, just because what's this random dude doing in the corner? So just let me know, like, hey, next slide. Kyle, can you bring up blah, 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 blah? And I'll be able to do it live.
Tim makes a good point. He just added in the Teams chat. I think in the meeting invite before Tuesday, we can just add a quick how to join. And it'll just say, please select one of the following links to join. Whatever, like select the platform where you already have an account. That way you'll be able to comment. You only need to click on one. Something like super, super simple that it's in the meeting invite. So that hopefully.
Yeah, it needs to be something like, to get the best out of our time together, click the platform easiest for you to participate, and we'll see you over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess like a one line.
Yeah.
And then the presenters, I know Sherry and I have to jump, but the panelists and the presenters will not click any of those links. They will get a separate link. It'll be a personal email from, one of us that says, for this session today, use this link, and it will be that specific presenter link that all of us are on.
Correct. Also, they can join at any time, and I won't launch the broadcast until everybody's ready to go. This is kind of like a green room. We can kind of hang out, chat before anybody sees us, and then I start the actual presentation when we're ready.
I wonder if we should have all the presenters log on 10 minutes early.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yes, but as long as we're not playing like elevator music. Is there like some really cool like sizzle reel that we can just have like rolling for the first like?
So Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm not entirely sure about, but YouTube, it just says stand by. This presentation will begin shortly. So there's nothing on it except like a gray screen.
We'll make sure to start and have everyone join right at noon. We'll just have the presenters join the link. It's just Kyle won't flip it on live until exactly noon, and all of us will join at 11:50.
And I have multiple holds in my calendar for this now. Shannon, Alexa, do we have our presenters on the invite? One of these at
One
least?
from me, was an outdated one with just a couple of you guys, I'll just cancel it right now.
So our presenters are, that's the one I forwarded to Tom. So I need to forward Shannon's
No,
then.
Shannon did.
It's got Tom on there. It's got Carmen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
I don't see it on here, but if you say they're on there,
They're all BCC'd.
okay.
All right, Sherry and I've got to run. Take the run.
Couple real quick things if you guys don't have to leave. I can change the background of this as well. This is the stock background. I can just do a color, or is there something branded for this actual presentation you'd like to see instead of the black with leaves?
I can barely see the black with leaves.
Yeah.
I like that it's black. I'll be
You
honest.
just want me to leave it black? I can do that.
You can barely see it. I mean, I think it's fine.
Cool. You see it more whenever you go into like this kind of view or whatever, but who cares? I'll just leave it black. Yeah, and I mean, you can do other things like add overlays and stuff.
Oh,
I don't know
that's
that we
cool.
need that. The other thing is very loud. But you can show videos. This platform is pretty awesome when it comes to some of those things. Pretty powerful. But yeah, I'll just leave it black. If you guys come up with anything else, you want to see some cool animations on screen or whatever, let me know.
What was that video you were just playing?
The video?
Yeah.
It's
Nope.
Yeah.
Not playing that one.
What are the odds of having the experiential sizzle reel ready by Tuesday?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, send it over. Just I can plug it in.
Oh, it
I
hasn't
think
been
they're
made yet.
still working on it.
Red Rover, send it on over. So, what do we have for a video? There's something really impactful about like music and a minute of video, and then it's like, Sherry, welcome to our first food for.
Sorry. When it pops up, you guys can't talk, but there's options here. There's like a countdown, like, hey, everybody get ready. This is about to pop up, but it has to be a full-on video. We have to make sure the sound levels and everything are correct long beforehand, and we'll need to test that stuff out. We can't just do it like day of.
Can you figure out what? Unless we have the sizzle reel, which I'm doubtful we will for next week. What something that they have stock in there, Kyle, that's pretty energizing for the before we all show up with our faces on screen.
Sure, yeah. I'll make a note of that. I think Tim is actually watching this on YouTube right now, so maybe he has an idea as well. Yeah. Anything else? Because, like I said, we can have stuff pop up, whatever.
Can you have like I don't know about what you guys think about this, but like say instead of live with StreamYard, live with CSI, or do we want to put like we don't really use Twitter, tweet us at whatever.
Or the Instagram handle, just for so people start following the Instagram handle, the Trend Chef.
Sure. Other than that, maybe just be consistent. Rachel is just your first name. It's just my first name. If you guys want to,
Full name.
Yeah, and you can change those during, or I think I can change them too. Yeah, I can change it. So
You want just first names? You're saying?
Just pick one. So.
Let's go full names then.
Let's go full
Okay.
names.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right. So the idea tomorrow is to do the reel run through. There'll be people on the Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube side of it, and then us on the duck side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Friday. It's not tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Friday.
I wish tomorrow was Friday. Maybe I'm
Oh
just.
my gosh. You and me both.
Yeah. All right. I'm so right now on the platform, just since it's new. So hopefully Friday we all come out of there super confident with it.
Yeah, there's always a learning curve.
That's
But
true.
that's how you progress and get better.
That is also correct.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Yep.
And if you guys think of anything, let me know. All right,
Sounds good.
later.